Hi guys, it's Mrs. Hall again. I am going to go over 14-10. I cut my other video a little short because I realized that question 31, which I originally wanted to go over, was not was something a little more advanced than what is on your test. So I decided to just go ahead and cut that out. And so I had to, because I did that, I had to record 14-10 in a different video. And this will be my final video for topic 14. And this one is units of time. And time is something that we're a lot more familiar with than customary units and metric units. So hopefully this comes a little bit easier to you. We're still going to use the same type of methods as we have been with converting. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to be working with minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks, months, years. And then we are even going to be working with decades, which is equal to 10 years, or a century, which is equal to 100 years. And then a millennium is actually equal to 1,000 years. You guys may have heard that word millennium. You guys were not even born yet when our millennium hit in 2000, but people do use that word. And then we also use the word 21st century learning, and that's because we are in the 21st century, and our learning is different than when we were in the 20th century. So let's go ahead and look at these problems. We're going to do a couple here. We'll do a couple in the independent practice and a couple down here, just to kind of give you guys a variety of some problems. So let's go ahead and look at number 1, 9 months. 9 months, is that greater than or less than 27 weeks? Well, most of us know that each month there is about 4 weeks in each month, right? So if it's 9 months, we can just multiply this by 4 to see how many weeks there are. 9 times 4 is 36 months. So 36 is greater than 27. So then we're going to go ahead and put a greater than sign here. Okay, let's look at number 2. So number 2, 17 years and 2 decades. Well, if we look back up here, decades, remember decade was 10 years. So if it's 10 years and there's 2 of them, we can just multiply by 10. That's 20 years. So 2 decades is equal to 20 years. Well, what's greater, 17 years or 20 years? 20 years is greater. So it's going to be like that. Let's look at number 3. 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and abbreviate that. And 300 seconds. I'll abbreviate that as well. Okay, so most of us know that each minute there is 60 seconds in a minute, right? 60 seconds in a minute. So if we just multiply this by 60, which this way of doing it is a little funny, right? So over here on the side, I'm going to do it the right way. 60 times 5. 0 times 5 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. Ooh, so 300. Well, we have 300 seconds. So 5 minutes is equal to 300 seconds, and we're comparing it to 300 seconds. So it is equal to. All right, let's go on to number 4. 44 months and 3 years. Okay, well, each year has 12 months, right? So if we have 3 years, we're going to multiply that by 12. Most of us know this. Some of you guys can use your multiplication chart if you don't. 12 times 3 is 36, so that's 36 months. Well, what's greater, 44 months or 36 months? Well, definitely 44 months, right? So that would be greater than. 44 months is greater than 3 years. Okay, let's scroll down to here. And let's do this 8 through 13, that can be some good practice if you guys need some extra practice. That's very similar to the ones we were just doing up at the top. I want to go through some of these down here. So let's start with number 14. Okay, so number 14, we have 6 days is equal to how many hours? So 6 days is equal to how many hours? Well, most of us know each day is 24 hours, right? Some of these things we've even been talking about since kindergarten. So hopefully you guys remember them. So if it's 24 hours in a day and we want to work with 6 days, then we can multiply 24 times 6. So we get 24, 12, 13, 14. So that's 144 hours. So 6 days is equal to 144 hours. So remember how I talked about the conversions? It's very similar. So we're just going to multiply or maybe divide in certain circumstances. Okay. So let's look at number 15. 2 years is equal to how many months? This one I can probably do without even multiplying, right? So I know that there's 12 months in a year. So if we're looking at 2 years, then it's 12 plus another 12, or 12 times 2, which is equal to 24. So some things you can probably think about instead of doing the math, and that's fine. Okay, number 16. 6 minutes is equal to how many seconds? So we have to think about how many seconds are in 1 minute. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So if we need to figure out how many are in 6 minutes, we're just going to multiply 60 times 6. 0 times 6 is 0. 6 times 6 is 36. So there are 360 seconds in 6 minutes. Okay, number 17. 3 decades is equal to how many years? One way to remember decades, how many years are in a decade, the D, E, and the C, dec is 10. And you'll, if you haven't learned that already, which I think you guys went through a little bit at the end of 3rd grade last year, and then this year you will probably get into it in the next couple chapters. But dec means 10, or des means 10. And so decades is 10. So if we're looking at 1 decade being 10 years, so 1 decade is equal to 10 years. So then that means that 3 decades, we can times this by 3, is equal to, times this by 3, 30 years, right? So 3 decades is equal to 30 years. Okay. All right, let's do 2 more. Let's do number 18 and 19. Okay, so 4 hours is equal to how many minutes? Okay, so how many minutes are in an hour? There are 60 minutes in an hour. So 60 times 4 is going to give us how many minutes are in 4 hours, right? So 60 minutes times the 4 hours. This is 0. This is 24. So there are 240 minutes in 4 hours. Last one that we're going to go over is number 19. 4 centuries is equal to how many years? And if you remember from our chart, 1 century is equal, 1 century is equal to 100 years. So if we multiply this by 4 to get 4 centuries, we multiply the other side by 4 and we get 400 years. So 4 centuries is 400 years. That is a very long time. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you in going over time, units of time. A lot of this, like I said, you guys kind of already know. You've been doing it since since kinder. You guys learned about the 12 months in kinder and the 7 days a week and things like that. And so hopefully you guys have already memorized this. There is that chart in the beginning of this chapter in the textbook if you need to use that. So hopefully this video was helpful, and hopefully you guys do well on your test. So good luck on your quiz and good luck on your test. I'll see you guys soon.